Legends of the Fall was a movie, but I'm not talking about Legends of the Fall, the movie. I'm talking about Legends of the Fall of Man. What happened? Let's go back to ancient Lemuria, an ancient civilization, mythical civilization, and ancient Atlantis. What happened to these old civilizations? They had a major war. And what was the warring using as weapons? They were using thought amplification devices. And these devices were using crystals. If you've seen Star Wars, you know lightsabers are made with crystals. That's just a sidelight. No, they use crystals, and early radios used crystals. So what they were doing in those days is they were visualizing what they wanted to happen, like maybe me becoming the king of you, and hooking themselves up to these thought amplification devices, which were, in essence, super-powered black magic spells being used on other people. And the other people are using similar technology to fight back. If I want to manifest me being king, it means the rest of you are going to be my subjects, and perhaps you don't want to be my subjects, or otherwise known as my slaves. So, if you're trying to manifest yourself as king of the world, you are Satan. You will realize that in the Bible, Jesus met Satan. And Satan said, with all of your powers, Jesus, you mean you can turn water into wine and you can raise the dead, you can be king of the world. And Jesus said, no, thank you, Satan. And he basically said, fuck off, Satan. We don't want you. We don't want your ideas. You, Satan, probably came from ancient Lemuria or Mu or Atlantis because you want to be the power behind my throne. And so Jesus said, fuck off. We don't want that, but that's the ancient ways, what happened in ancient civilizations, and that's basically what we're still trying to recover from today. Sananda, the Ascended Master, calls this abuse of power. The reason Atlantis fell, the ancient civilizations fell, was abuse of power and the power to create. So you're magnifying your thought forms that you're creating and putting energy into using technologies, crystal technologies, and it led to everything I've told you. And so thousands of years later, we're still trying to recover because what happened? Our abilities to create were taken away. Taken away. In other words, we had the ability to visualize things and have it manifest for us to experience. But because of the abuse of power, our creation abilities were severely limited by other beings who were more able to take our creation powers away so that we would not do what we did in Atlantis. And we'd have to live a very long time, many, many, many incarnations, using the work of our physical arms and backs and legs and, things like horses and oxen and sailing ships. Very primitive ways to survive on this planet. So, over the course of many, many, many generations, reincarnation and reincarnation, we might figure it out. We might figure out why it is that we have to toil. And the reason we have to toil is because other beings more powerful and wiser than us decided that it was time for us to learn our lesson. And our lesson is you are not to create the way you did in ancient civilizations like Atlantis, where you want to abuse power over others. It's been a long, thousands of years, long time. And are we ready to graduate from working with our physical bodies, animals' bodies, and the, technologies that we mostly use, like internal combustion engines, gasoline engines, and these other technologies? Are we ready to graduate from using all this to direct manifestation using the visualizations and having the universe deliver it to us? We are ready, but you, if you're willing to participate, are going to have to participate. And you're going to have to let go of controlling others and forcing others. So things like, in Walt Disney, ideas like witches are going to give you love spells so that, you see a certain other person, I want that person over there to become my lover. That's abuse of power. That is trying or doing things to make people do things that they wouldn't normally do by clouding their mind and horrible things. So you cannot do that. You must raise in consciousness to higher consciousness, and you have to let go of your need to dominate others. That is why Atlantis fell, the ancient civilizations fell. It was because of thought amplification devices. They used crystals to amplify their thoughts. And this research is being done in secret on planet Earth, again, to get these kind of thought amplification devices going again. And you won't hear about it on the evening news, but the research is being done because you know that we have, very primitive versions of these things are in a lot of hospitals, like MRIs. But they're way more advanced than this. They just don't tell you about it. They can actually read your thoughts using technologies that are secret and suppressed. But and that's what the next step is. Once they can read your mind, then they want to amplify the thoughts in your mind to make these things manifest. If you remember the movie The Secret, that is what it's all about. The secret is how to manifest things, and it's mostly hidden from people because we're taught that that is pseudoscience and balderdash. Why? Because they didn't want us to know about these things. Because the ones who like to abuse power and keep us enslaved and keep themselves kings basically have set the curriculum in our schools and our media. And at some point I want to talk about Project Mockingbird, but in essence it is the fake news that we've had since news ever began, designed to keep you from knowing what's really going on by giving you bullshit news, scary news, weather reports.